So I'd like to invite up with me, as I will be moderating this specific panel, Mehak from PayPal. Yay! Yeah, we asked everybody not to do like individual claps, but yeah, have a seat. We have Rob Spitz from Pondo. Are you the genius behind the fish?
Yeah.
I feel okay. And then my friend and dear, ecosystem member, community member, Tiffany Lai from OG Labs, also from Taipei Blockchain Week. Yeah. Okay, can we get a round of applause? Nice. Okay, this is gonna be kind of cool because I deliberately organized this particular panel to sort of mastermind for my own benefit. I don't know if you all know this yet, but I recently took on the role of head of ecosystem growth at Aleo Network Foundation. And so I have just sort of been sitting and looking at the JD and wondering, like, what does this actually all mean? Because ecosystem is such a broad term in the space, and it means different things, I think, to different people. And instead of kind of going down and just having you introduce yourself, I'm going to build in the first question to your introductions. So in whatever order you'd like, just to share a little bit about yourself, the organization that you represent, and then what exactly your role entails.
Cool, I'll start. Oh, yeah, you can hear me. Cool, so I'm Rob. I'm the head of marketing for Pondo. So I'm the idiot that keeps losing the fish. So I don't know if you've seen all around the last few days. There's fish everywhere. That's my fault. My role is to bring brand awareness to Pondo, let people know who we are, what we're doing, what liquid staking is, trying to get Pondo everywhere, which is why there's stickers everywhere, there's posters everywhere, there's loads of stuff we've been doing at Eve Denver. And yeah, trying to just grow and get as much as possible. I'm fairly new to the role, but this is just the start. So this is our practice run for basically being the biggest fish people in the world. And I don't even like fish, so to eat. So that's why I have to keep protecting the one that's alive, which is our Phil the fish.
Thank you very much, Rob. Fun fact, Pondo's name is Philip, or is it Phil?
Philip, but if you're friends with him, you can call him Phil.
Okay.
So it depends how close you are. I keep losing him, so I think
Phil.
I think he's probably more Mr. Pondo Fish to me.
And then second fun fact is we have this group chat with all of the Aleo ecosystem team members, and by far my favorite photo shared in that group chat is Phil the fish at a nightclub with several very attractive women around him.
And they asked, the security officer came straight to Phil the fish, and was like, can you come with these people?
So unintended side effects, positive side effects, it sounds like, for Phil the fish.
Sure.
Okay, all right, what up, Tiffany?
Hi, okay, awesome. Hi guys, my name is Tiffany. I'm the head of ecosystem for ZeroG. We're building the first largest AI L1, so I'm more in the Web3 and AI space. And like Annie, I think the ecosystem role is pretty much a catch-all. For me, it's half of marketing, half of BD kind of merged together. So it's very, again, with every company, it's very different. So before, when I was at Avalanche, there were built an ecosystem for both the marketing side and the BD side. So for me at ZeroG, because we're only a 30 to 40 person company, it's kind of like all in one.
So do you think that's, sorry, I know we're supposed to, I'm the worst at this because I just have questions all the time. You should see me in the previous panel, I was like, Karen, I have questions. But okay, you know what, I'll pause. I'll let us finish this one question and then go back to you on that one. Okay, Mehak.
No, thank you so much. Also, Phil is really cool. It's really fun to see something like that in the Web3 space. I'm Mehak. I lead ecosystem development for our stablecoin PYUSD at PayPal. I've been in the space for close to 5 years now. Been with PayPal all along. It's been a great journey, and I completely agree. I think it's really hard to define, what an ecosystem is like and what you should do to grow your ecosystem, right? I started off as an engineer, so that's my background. So when I got this role, like you, and I was also just staring at that JD wondering, I don't know what the hell to do from here now. But no, I'm really excited to have this conversation and see how you guys have been figuring this out.
So on that, what I'm thinking about Joey from Friends, or no, Chandler from Friends, what do you do? Do. Yeah, you were too young if you don't know what that means. So. Okay. Hey, Hank.
No, so I think for us, when you think about the ecosystem, and especially since we are a stable, it's always been to bring forward a new generation and a new rail of payments, right? Like PayPal has been in this industry for 25 years, and we were the first company to bring payments from offline to online. And with PYUSD, we want to be the company who brings payments from online to on-chain. And that's kind of what really we've been trying to do the past 1.5 years since we launched PYUSD. PYUSD is now on Ethereum and Solana, and those are two like amazing communities that we've been really happy to be a part of. But more than anything else, we just wanted to make sure that we can bring that commitment to reliability, to trust, to safety that PayPal has been providing its consumers over these years to the Web3 world. And while we are participating in the ecosystem, for us, it's more about, just being out here, learning from everyone and taking everyone with us as we move forward. As part of my role, it's just identifying what are those right opportunities to meet our consumers and to meet our partners where they are, to create more access and more agency for PYUSD so that developers and builders, when they're innovating in this space, can use PYUSD to grow their applications.
So just for those in the audience that maybe don't know what that is, what is PYUSD?
Oh, sorry. PYUSD or PayPal USD is PayPal's stablecoin. It's pegged 1:1 to the US dollar, and it is regulated by the New York EFS, issued by Paxos.
It's so stablecoin season. Everywhere I go, we're just talking about AI agents and stablecoin season. So we're really on trend, you guys. Rob, what does your day-to-day actually look like? What are your duties?
So for me, it's pretty much everything from the marketing side of things. So I've come from I entered marketing in the Web3 world. Quite lucky that I've been in the industry since 2017. So I've seen pretty much everything from the ICO hype, from people pulling all the time, from white papers being everything. I've seen it all. So in that time, I've also seen the transition in marketing. My role, what I actually like about Web3 and crypto is that it enables you to kind of be yourself and to be able to market in a different way and be able to market and be a bit risky with what you do. So my role is to try and get as much of the Pondo brand out there, help people understand more what liquid staking is. In essence, that will be help people understand what Aleo is at the same time, but try and transpire that into more of everyday language. So I'm still covering everything at the moment because we're still fairly new. We launched the Pondo community only in November, pretty much 2 days after I started. I was like, let's go straight into this and get the community there. Always been a bit of, socials have always been a big thing for me. I was given the opportunity to move into marketing. It wasn't my background at all. I started doing something completely different. I worked in sales for a long time. And then when I moved to Spain, I was able to go into marketing and crypto gave me that opportunity because I had a good personal social media presence at the time, on Twitter, on Instagram. And from that, I've kind of developed. So I'll always be quite social focused.
So you're saying you're famous online?
Yeah, in the UK. No, I'm not super famous, but there will be people that know me online. But I've always believed, so back then in 2017, I was literally hired because I was good at getting engagement on Instagram, on my own personal Instagram. And then it moved to Twitter, and I was always quite good on Twitter. But then I went through a stage where I actually don't use Instagram at all anymore. When it comes to this crypto world, I still see people using Telegram. I don't. I think it's Discord. I think you've got to think about the community and build a community that way as well. Give people an environment where they feel comfortable and try and make it as open source as possible. The last company I worked for before here was a company called Aleo, which was on the Solana ecosystem. Solana's quite lucky in the sense of there are people willing to do the open source side of things, and there are people that are willing to just provide you gifts, and it makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to create the content and find the content and think what content it is. I used to have random people I've never spoken to just want to participate by sending stuff that way. And so my challenge right now is how do I bring that to an Aleo, and the community there. But we're starting to see those signs, and I think the more and more, especially with this hashtag Real in Pondo, at ETH Denver, we're going to see a lot more and more things on social media and people recognizing the brand of Pondo and making us as well known as I used to be well known on Instagram back in the day.
So you're just transferring the popularity from you, the human being, to
Yeah,
Build a
that's my
fish.
aim.
That's cool.
Yeah, for
Got
sure.
Got it. I think it's actually kind of interesting that you started off in a sales role and moved into marketing. And you mentioned, Tiff, that sort of in different organizations, there are different roles. Sometimes they're grouped together. Like in your role now as VP of Ecosystem, that's a fancy title for a fancy lady. Like what exactly does that entail, and how actually is it different than the work that you're doing at Avalanche previously?
It's actually a accumulation of my experience. So I came in, I had 10 years of agency experience in marketing before coming into crypto, and then shifting into the brand side, you learn a lot about the project management, event side of things, and then going to Avalanche heavily in growth and marketing and partnerships. So for my job at Zero G, there's a lot of context switching, mainly because you have to look at different types of stakeholders in the ecosystem. There are, let's say, builders, where you might have to create academy programs for them to onboard. There's also different partnerships, so you want people to, existing projects to collaborate and work with the ecosystem. Then there's also new builders, people you want to deploy natively onto Zero G. So for that, we have to create, let's say, an ecosystem fund. But then underneath it all, you need the community to be here for people to learn about your chain and activate them on chain. So that is more of like a community aspect, where we did, let's say, a Kaido engagement leaderboard that really helped. But there are just so many programs that you have to think about for ecosystem. So that's why I say it's really a blend of like all of my skills together within marketing as well as people.
Sorry, all of your skills. I mean, it sounds like a lot, and surprisingly, like despite my initial like, oh my God, there's a million things to do in one, it's actually such a fun problem to solve. That there in this industry are so many different types of users and customers. I say loosely as a network, but yeah, I think some helpful examples maybe could provide some clarity, at least for me. Like, what were some really successful campaigns or programs that you ran that allowed you to reach sort of several demographics at once? So I'm thinking builder, retail user, enterprise partners, so on and so forth. I'm gonna ask Mehak.
Yeah. I do have a couple on mine. So I think I agree, right? Like it's really interesting to identify the right blend of activations to reach, to your point, a large scale of people. I think a big part of that, to Rob's, earlier comments, is around just creating awareness. Awareness about the utility of what you're doing, awareness of your product, in our case, awareness of PYUSD and the use cases that it can enable. So what we've been doing is, through the PayPal app, we do a lot of work around just educating our consumers about what they're getting into and what they really can use cryptocurrencies and PYUSD for. We have our checkout with crypto product that really allows users to realize the value of the different currencies that they hold and PYUSD and appreciate it as a store of value. When you think about more ecosystem-related efforts, as a part of my role and given my background in engineering, there has been a lot of focus around helping developers build. And as a part of that, we have been really proud to have hosted and sponsored a bunch of hackathons over the past year, which we feel have really helped us incubate, great projects in the ecosystem and see innovation thrive, which is really what we're here for. In addition to that, we've been lucky to partner with some amazing thought leaders in the space and host challenges. So we have one running right now, which with Google Cloud, where you can work with the RPC infrastructure that Google provides and use PYUSD for interesting use cases across cross-border transactions, increasing business flows, or even B2B use cases.
Very cool. Rob, Tiff?
Cool, yeah. So, Pondo is fairly new. So we've had some cool successes in the sense of we're the first. Pondo PNDO is the first token that's actually on an exchange, on a centralized exchange. The first Aleo token that's on a centralized exchange. We celebrated that in a way that other people maybe wouldn't celebrate it as much. That made people question. We had staking. We have a staking campaign with them as well, and people are taking part in it. The other thing that we do is we try and celebrate all little successes. I'm great because I want to take Pondo to be a bit more Web3, a bit more fun, a bit more risky. But at the moment, what we've been doing is, because people aren't fully aware of Pondo yet, what we're trying to do is get the awareness, so we celebrate our little successes. We've had really good TVL that's come in. We've had some really good numbers of users. We've hit over 500,000, we'd celebrate it. We hit 600,000, we celebrate it. And that actually brings what we've had from doing that thing, but from celebrating it, is we get new people into our Discord who are like, we don't really know who you are, but I've seen you've got something. So they will open a ticket and straight away start asking questions about what we are, and they know nothing about zk, they know nothing about Aleo, they know maybe nothing about liquid staking, but just by celebrating and seeing there's a successful company out there, organically as well, because we're not at the moment shilling or doing anything like that other people do, it's brought small numbers, but people that are new, and that's one of the reasons I entered this industry, is I've always believed in mass adoption, and I don't know necessarily whether people have done it right, and I've had issues with the way things are communicated. I always believe you have to be as simplistic as possible, and for mass adoption, you have to get people excited and hyped. So by celebrating our stats every week, along with what's going to be some very fun posts, it's going to just bring people in and bring people awareness. But we're really excited about Pondo launching as on Gate. It was only 2 weeks ago. People have been really psyched about it. And obviously everything with Philip the Fish has been quite successful so far.
Yeah, congrats. You know, honestly, if you're going to invite people into your community, don't you want the people who want to celebrate you?
Yeah, because
like, even if they have no idea, they're kind of like a wedding crasher style.
Well, that's the brilliant thing as well. It's only been 3 months that we've had this community. As soon as I get back to Barcelona, I'm going to work on a plan for an ambassador program for Pondo, and I know the two straight away who are going to smash it, because they're the two that I've seen both so keen, but they're going to bring more and more and more. So I can see in a couple of months when we launch it, because the aim is to launch it in Q1, so a month. But when we do launch it, the uptake is going to be exciting, and hopefully next time we speak, I'll have that as a success story as well.
I'll be there for it.
Yeah, so for Zero G, because we really care about decentralizing AI, I think a big part of it is making sure it's on Web3, and we want to decentralize the network. So a good success case is we recently raised $30 million through a node sale, mainly to sell alignment nodes. And for us, it really, in order for AI to be decentralized and optimized for against like biases and stuff like that, we need as many people participating as possible. So being able to kind of like get the community involved, get a lot of different communities and different partners also involved with our node sale allowed us to, sell 80,000 nodes, but also like contribute to the bottom line of our ecosystem, making sure that there's as diverse of a group as possible to kind of help drive our ecosystem. So I think that's just one out of many programs that we have, and that one is more focused on kind of like the community, decentralizing the network, having ecosystem all over the world to kind of contribute to our project.
Cool. I'm trying to think of the right way to ask this question, because there's so many layers to it, but I'm gonna keep it simple and say there's this like spectrum in ecosystem marketing and ecosystem development of fun to formal. I guess it depends on like who you're trying to engage, or a partner, a builder, and so on and so forth. I'd like to understand, and I have some guesses, like where your organization and your team falls on that spectrum, and why.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting spectrum to think about, and I know what you're guessing, that we're probably closer to the more formal side of things, and that's fair, because we do come with the backing of this large institution, and that brings its own interesting aspects to it. But I think we really want to imbibe from the Web3 energy, and we when we entered the space, we knew what we were bringing to it, and we knew that there was a lot that we have to learn. So, going back to what I was saying earlier, a large part of our ecosystem efforts are to learn from the community. We want to be here, we want to be a part of all the amazing things that are going on, and we want to adapt to that. We want to work with the right partners, and we want to see PYUSG really go far and beyond, even beyond like, PayPal's ecosystem, and be able to incubate that utility that we're trying to bring, that new generation of payments. So, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be fun. We've really enjoyed, we're here at ETH Denver this week, and our team's been all over. We've had a great time, attending a bunch of events like this one. It's such amazing panelists, such amazing conversations. So I think we are really happy to be a part of this space, and I think everyone brings something interesting to the table. So for us, the end of the day, the goal is that, okay, we're here because we want to bring that mass that we have and help everyone move forward, learn about more, innovations, and use PYUSD to forward your applications and your use cases.
I forget sometimes that, like, to your point, you guys went from digital, like, remind me that the description, and now we're like on.
It was offline to online payments.
That's
25
right.
years ago when the company was founded, and now we are bringing in like a new generation,
Yeah.
right? We're on chain now with PYUSD.
That's right. So like reminding myself that some of these institutions or enterprise partners that are of the most innovative, and they've just kind of been around a little longer than the rest of us. Yeah. Fun
I
to.
think fun.
Okay.
But being as fun as possible, that doesn't prevent formal coming in. And I think if you're fun and you're vibing, you can get the most formal professional organizations wanting to work with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're gonna go the fun route because that's going to attract the users and what we need and the TVM and the growth. But we can get to a stage in my head, I'm quite ambitious, where you've got the most formal companies that you think would never work with Incident Pass go, well, these guys are clearly trending, these guys are really on it. So they want to work with us. And you're seeing that trend a little bit in the UK, particularly on socials with big organizations, formal organizations, Specsavers, Domino's, for example, who are now seeing that the fun side of things is just as important as the formal side of things.
Can't wait to see a PayPal Pondo
It's
formal
gonna happen.
collab. So,
Yeah, I agree with both of my panelists. I think because we're in Web3, we have to have the fun in it. I think a lot of projects, even if you have great tech and you're very formal, in order to get that retail attraction, if you want to go to TG, you want to go mainnet, you still need that mind share. So for us, we have different aspects that are more professional, other aspects that are more fun. Like our socials or our NFTs, we can be more fun, but we also have a lot of AI researchers working on serious projects and stuff like that to establish our credibility as well. So I think it just needs to be a balance.
we are at time. I just have one quick final question for each of you. I was listening to this panel yesterday where there's like a hotly debated topic of like, is the focus users or builders? And you're not allowed to give any context. You just have to answer me straight up. Is the focus at your organization users or builders?
For me, users.
I actually don't see a difference.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Sneaky little double answer. You can't use that.
Honestly, I'll just say builders.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate the master class for me and my new job. Okay.